Here with Rusty as Farmhouse from Video Game Heaven.
Y'all ain't ready for this. I don't even know if I'm ready for this.
Oh my god, what happened to your head, dude?
Just wanted to give a shout out to everybody at Brotastic Nerdum.
The Brotastics, you guys should be doing restaurant reviews.
My name is Zach. What's up, guys? Here with Susan Eisenberg, voice of Wonder Woman here at All-Star Comic-Con.
And truthfully, it's all still pretty much of a blur to me.
We're going to ask her some questions. Nice
Go
to
for
meet
it.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for doing this with us.
My pleasure.
Obviously, you're here because you're the voice of Wonder Woman. What has that been like in your life? Like,
Huge.
huge?
Huge. I mean, I always say it's like the biggest professional gift of my life because it allows me to come to places like this. Doors have opened for me because of that job. And the fact that I continue to get to voice her, it's just the privilege that keeps on being a privilege.
Yeah, you voice actors in the Bruce Timm universe really just nailed the characters in ways that so many others have tried and just never landed the same for me, and I guess for like a lot of us. It's the reason we keep asking for you and Kevin Conroy and Tim Daly to come back and do these things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's Andrea Romano also, because she's the casting director, the voice director. She and Bruce hired all of us, and when I had a call back for the job, I read for her and Bruce. And I always give her credit because she helped me find the character. She was very clear on what that Diana should be like and what she should sound like. And she wanted her to be a warrior and a princess, and also that she should have a little vulnerability. And so it was like a group effort, but I agree. I think that something happened that was quite magical when we all got together and read those characters. It still feels that way when we get together.
Do you remember what your first line was? When you go into, they hand you the script, and they're like, okay, hitting record now. Do you remember what your first... Remember what the first line was?
No, but I do remember that I had to say, I am Diana, princess of the Amazons, and I will not be denied. I do remember having to say that, and I remember having to say Great Hera, and various things. But no, I don't remember the first line of but I have all the scripts.
Oh?
Oh, I kept them all. Yeah.
That must be fun. You ever just read through them?
You know what? We've had reunions.
Oh, really?
And so we've done Denver and New York Comic-Cons, and all the cast has been together, and we've read from the scripts, the originals.
That sounds like
and
super fun.
and so I have them in my closet in these big boxes, so I'm able to okay, I've got that one. And we just take a few pages where there's group scenes, or Kevin and I did a read of This Little Piggy, Paul Dini's script. So yeah, it's great having access to all that. The archives.
Do you remember what your favorite episode was?
You know what? That's so hard to say favorite episode because I'm a fan of the show and I have so many. I said This Little Piggy because it's just so adorable, and Kevin sings, and we have that little scene on the rooftop where we're talking about dating. It just so sweet. But the Once and Future Thing, Maid of Honor, Paradise Lost. I mean, what was so great about the show was you had heart and you had the humor, and so many of the episodes had both, and there were a lot of favorites.
Yeah, Justice League Unlimited really just nailed everything that we've all been clamoring for. If they could translate that into movies, DC, that's what we want. I dropped my dinosaur.
No, but that's really true.
Yeah, it's really,
you
just did such a good job.
They did such a great job. I mean, that was an incredible team. The writers, the directors, and then the actors, just getting us all together with that team. Something wonderful happened, and that's why I've been pushing the reunion with the fans, because I think that we already have an audience that grew up with us and who feel a certain kinship with us. So
there's no world where that cartoon doesn't make it again. There's just no way. We all want it we want it in any way we can get it.
Right.
We buy in the video games.
Yeah, well, hashtag JL Reunion.
Yep. Get to going, Twitterverse. Come on. We've made things happen before.
Right.
So you do some video game work too. You voice character in one of my absolute favorite franchises of all time. I love Jak and Daxter.
It's so funny.
I love that franchise.
That is so sweet because somebody came up to me one time and mentioned it to me, and then another person came up and said, I read on IMDb that you were Ashlyn, and so many people said something to me. I got the picture done, and it really is a fan favorite, and it's very touching to me because it was a long time ago.
We're a small but very loyal
I know,
group of fans.
And I so appreciate
really
that.
Love that game.
I know, I love it.
Yeah. Any good memories from that? Like,
you know what? The whole thing was a good memory because I worked with Naughty Dog to do that game, and the team was just terrific. And I remember it like it was yesterday, and it was a decade ago.
Close to. I mean, it was a PS2, not even a late life cycle PS2 game. Was Jak 3. Did you do the combat racing? Were you in Jak X as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say yes. I want to say it was in everything with Jak.
Okay.
But it was like I worked so many sessions on the game, and then it's like with all of this stuff, you just like put it away and you move on, and then when the fans bring it back to you, you're like, yeah, like another one is Jackie Chan. I did Viper in Jackie Chan,
yes.
and she was one of my favorite characters. I wasn't a regular on the show, but I recurred a lot, and I love when people bring me pictures of her or they bring up the show. It's just it lives on.
Yeah, that show was also fantastic.
Fantastic.
How did you manage to just get so many fantastic things? Is it because you're amazing and talented?
Well, no. I mean, the truth is that you audition, and and with Jackie Chan, it was just a gift, and same with all of these. I mean, it's just a gift that you get it and you audition. But there's so many you don't get. Also, I don't want to give anyone the impression that we basically audition every day, and most of the jobs you don't get. But if you're lucky, really truly lucky, you get a Justice League or a Jackie, and they're so dynamite and memorable that you build a fan base, and that's what keeps it going. It's really something.
I had a casting director once tell me that if you don't get the role, it's not because we didn't like you. It's just you weren't the role. And I was like,
That's true.
That was such a good way. Like, don't feel bad that you didn't get this because of your talent. It's just not what we want for that role.
And you can come so close, you don't know what goes on in those rooms. And also, unlike with on camera voiceover, it's not what you look like. On camera is brutal because it is what you look like sometimes. With voiceover, it's like you don't sound like the right character. It's different. It's not as harsh. It really isn't.
Were there any moments in any of your voiceovers where you did something that was too strenuous for your voice?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah.
And video games are strenuous, which is why we went on strike to try to get better terms for the actors, because you work a 4-hour shift in a video game and you're doing a lot of screaming and dying over and over and over and over again, and you can't work the next day or the day after that because your voice is thrashed. And so we wanted a few more protections put in place. We got that with from the strike, but by and large I feel like ultimately it's my job to take care of my voice. My agent helps me do that. But most of the gaming companies feel the same way. They want you to be healthy. They want you to work the next day, and they're lovely. So yes, but I have had that experience.
Yeah, certain times, you're going to blow out your voice. Tea and honey isn't going to cut the trick the next day.
And I think when you're younger too, you don't know how to stand up for yourself as much. So you take. You do all these voices, because when you book a video game, they can ask you to do several voices. Same with animation, and I've learned to say, you know what, I can't do another dinosaur right now because I already did 2 dinosaurs, and if I do a third one, but you have to have that voice to say sorry, but no, maybe another time. Maybe another session down the road.
You have to have your voice in voice acting.
Kids.
That should be your bumper stickers.
Yes, that is. That and JL Reunion.
JL Reunion, voice and voice acting. Fantastic. Well, Susan, thank you very much for talking with us today.
Thank you, Zach.
Is there anything that you want to promote? Anything you want to shout out to?
Well, I will be voicing Mira in an upcoming Aquaman project. And there is some more Wonder Woman coming your way. But I can't talk about that stuff yet. It hasn't been announced, but there's definitely some Wonder Woman coming. Fantastic. And just follow me on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much for talking
Nice
to us.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And cut.